Well, if you believe that 2 plus 2 equals 4, you might just be a white supremacist. At least that's the insane thinking of the folks at Ontario Mathematics, the Ontario Mathematics Coordinators Association, the OMCA. And here to tell us more is Alex Dhaliwal from Rebel News. Hey, Alex, welcome. How are you?
I'm well, sir. Thank you for having me on the program.
My pleasure. So how much power or influence does this Ontario Mathematics Coordinators Association have? Let's say, for example, within the Toronto District School Board. Who are these people?
Well, it would appear from our coverage on the matter that, at the very least, a significant minority of individuals in the upper echelon of the OMCA, as well as teachers sympathetic with their with the values that they're proposing, are definitely behind this radical notion that 2 plus 2 equals 4 is somehow emblematic of white supremacy. And from conversations we've had with concerned parents as well as concerned teachers and staff, a lot of them have concerns with actually the trajectory they're seeing with the current mathematics curriculum, in the sense that it should be teaching objective truth rather than subjective feeling, or this notion that teaching math to students in grade 3, 6, and 9 is somehow triggering a microaggression. And a lot of these individuals are fear public pushback and fear losing their employment if they speak out publicly against this. And you would think in a liberal democracy such as Canada that there wouldn't be concerns such as that, but here we are, unfortunately, in 2023.
So, I mean, that's not a joke, right? He actually, the main fella we're talking about here, the president of the OMCA, Jason Toe, that's not a joke. He actually said that 2 plus 2 equals 4. If you believe that, that's white supremacy.
You know what? I wish it was a joke, but unfortunately it is not. And you know, if that was, it's unfortunate that that's probably the least of our concerns with what we're seeing with the trajectory in Ontario's curriculum. What we saw in a workshop last September, where 60 Toronto schools, 200 teachers attended, Jason Toe actually led a workshop where they confronted ideologies such as quote-unquote white supremacy, colonialism, and microaggressions. And they actually encouraged teachers to quote-unquote co-conspire with students in pushing what is a radical agenda in a classroom environment where they should be learning basic arithmetic so that it can carry they can carry that with whatever career that they choose to pursue. You know, it's unfortunate that at the very least, individuals like Jason Toe and teachers who are sympathetic with the woke math curriculum are not taking into account the damage it has had on the performance standards of students. For example, what we've seen amongst ninth graders in Ontario is that their performance or their literacy, mind you, in mathematics fell from 75% to 52% between the years 2012 and 2018. And if we look down to grade 6, the literacy rate decreased by about 20%, and for grade 3 students, about 16%. So it's apparent that individuals like Toe and teachers sympathetic to the agenda that they are pursuing, their best interests are not in educating students or producing the next generation of workforce, but unfortunately to create another generation of woke activists who don't contribute to the net benefit of society.
In your article, Alex, you say that Ontario parents and teachers both, they despise this woke math, but they fear speaking out. Why?
Well, for example, we had a conversation with a teacher who goes by the first name of Wayne, and he had mentioned that introducing these woke perspectives into the math curriculum doesn't really prepare his students for the math curriculum that will succeed his grade. And unfortunately, even though he holds those beliefs, which you would think any rational human being would be sympathetic towards that, he holds fears that he would be pushed out of his job by the union that represents him. And what we've also seen is concerned parents and actually a former trustee candidate from Hamilton by the name of Catherine Kronas, who spoke to how alarmed parents are with the current trajectory of woke math in the province. And from conversations she has had with constituents, there is a consensus that parents are fearful of speaking up because they fear they could lose their jobs in their respective employment. And these are people who will work outside of Ontario's education system too. So if pushing back against radically obtuse ideas is seen as particularly offensive, then we need to have a conversation as Canadians as to what kind of society we want to leave behind for our children. And it's unfortunate that we are in the state that we are now.
Indeed. And as you point out in your article, Alex, when you look at the provincial standardized testing, Ontario sixth grade students not meeting provincial standards. Nearly half are not meeting standardized tests. So this is standards, rather. This is the bitter harvest that we are now reaping. Alex Dhaliwal is with Rebel News. Support independent media, rebelnews.com. Alex, thank you. Great job, and hope to talk again soon.
Likewise. Thank you for having me on the program.
My pleasure.